Hello everyone. For this video, let's talk about part two. So part two is more about the graphical way to describe data. So same as the first one, we have the file uploaded to Blackboard already. So we can download this part two instructions file and then just follow the file and complete all the practice for this part. Let's start with this 2.1. So 2.1, we want to type in qualitative data, or we say we want to type in categorical data, same thing. So then we want to go to the variable view, and then just enter the first row. We're going to define the name first. Let's just type in pet. And then since it's for the categorical or qualitative, then we're going to select string here and then click on OK. And then usually I put the align under center. And then we can go back to data view and we can see the variable name is there already. And we can just type in the data there. So the data going to be different types of pets. So we have dog, pet, other, no. For example, we only have 4 categories. So then we finish typing this qualitative data. And then we can further look at how to type in quantitative data. For example, the second column, we want to generate another variable, and that column or that variable is for the frequency. So then we need to type in some quantitative data. And same thing, we want to go to variable view, and then for here we type in frequency as the variable name. So second row refers to the second column. And then is numeric or quantitative data, right? So the type is going to be numeric. And then for the decimals, since what we want to type in represent the frequency, integers. So we're going to type that as 0. And then align at the center. We can go back to type in the frequency. So we have 6, 2, 2, 2. So that's the frequency column, or we say type in quantitative data. And then 2.3, data calculation. So if we want to generate a complete frequency table or frequency distribution, we have the class, the frequency, and the relative frequency. So we want to generate a column that is relative frequency, but we don't want to just type in the calculated value. We want the software to calculate the percent for us. So then we're going to go to we will need to use some functions from SPSS. So for this one, we're going to go to transform and then click on the first one, compute variable. And then we want to give a name here that is the relative frequency, or you can type in percent. Just define a variable name for that column to let yourself know what it is. So we can say relative frequency, percent, all representing the same thing. And then the way we want to calculate is use the frequency column divided by the total of the frequencies. So then we can double click on frequency. Then for the numerical expression, if we double click the frequency, then the software knows that we want to use frequency to further calculate something. So frequency is there. So we want to use frequency divided by, just click on this divided by button here, divided by what? The sum of the counts, right? The frequency part. So we have 6 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2. Just type that in. So frequency divided by the sum of all the frequencies, and then click on OK. Then we have a log that is more for what performed already. And then the result shows here. So we have the relative frequency column, and then with the percentage calculated. We want to go to variable view to adjust the information display. So we can request the software to show a little more decimals. So go to 4 decimals and then align at the center. Go back to data view. We see the percent. So 0.5, 0.1667, 0.1667, and the same thing, 16.67% here. And another thing to mention is for the output window, we want to keep it there to track information. So every time we just need to minimize that output window. We don't have to exit out. Okay, and then 2.4, we want to talk about pie chart. So we all know it's very hard to draw a pie chart by hand, but if you use the software, that'll be way easier. So for this one, the function is under graph, and then we want to click on legacy dialogues, and then choose the pie chart, right? It's a pie here. Click on that. And then we want to select the last one, values of individual cases, and then click on define. Then slides represent what? For the pie chart, we need to use relative frequency or the percent. So same thing, we can click on that, drag it here, or use this button to move that to the right. And then we also want to slice labels. So we click on the variable, and the variable name is the pet. So drag that here. And then we can click on OK. So then the graph going to be provided under this output window. So this is the pie chart we have. So with all the labels, different colors represent different categories from the pet, the class of pet, the first column. And then if we want to see the percent value here in the pie chart. So we need to make some modification. So we need to do double click on the pie chart showed here. Double click on that. So then we'll have another window pop up that is called the chart editor. And then we're gonna go to elements, and then click on show data labels. Then another window showed up. So we need to click on this data value labels, and then move that pet to the displayed window. And then we can click on apply, and then close. Then we have the information, what category it is, and with what percent you have there. So 50% for dog, 16.67% for cat, 16.67% for other, 16.67% for no. And then we can exit out. So the modified pie chart going to show under this output window. And then you can copy and paste the graph to a Word file. For example, you will need to copy and paste for the final project under the Word file. That's how you can do it. Just right click and copy. And also you can add a desired title under the chart editor. So again, double click on the pie chart, and then right here you can see that icon is for insert a title. So click on that, and then you can change the title name you want. For example, pie chart. Example. And after you're done, exit out. You can see the title there. Okay, that's for the pie chart. And then let's look at the bar chart. Very similar process. It's still a graph, so we're gonna go to the function graphs, and then same thing, like see dialogues, and then find the bar chart, the first one, bar. Click on that, and then we have the simple, and then we need to select values of individual cases, and then we need to click on define, and then so here we can either use the frequency or relative frequency. So if we drag the frequency there, and then the labels, same thing, path. Drag that here, and then we'll see what we have. So then we have the frequency bar chart, which is 6222, right? Dog, cat, other, and no. So same thing. We're gonna repeat the process: graph, like see dialog, bar chart, and then define. So if we move that, and then use the %, and if we click on OK, then we'll have a relative frequency bar chart. So the y-axis represent relative frequency. 50%, 16.67, 16.67, 16.67. So frequency bar chart and relative frequency bar chart. And then double click on the bar chart under the output window. We get into the chart editor, and then double click on any bars again, and then we can get into the setting properties. So for the category, we can choose custom, or we can choose value. So if we choose value, then we can choose whether ascending or descending direction. So if we hit apply, then the bar chart is the frequency is under a certain order. So let's do it again. Double click after getting into it. So let's do it again. Double click on the bar chart under the output window. Then you get into the chart editor, and then double click on any bar. Then you get into property. So sort by custom, that's the default setting. We can change that to value, and then change the direction. Then you can order the frequency, or sort the frequency by increasing or decreasing order. exit out, you can see the finish bar chart under the output window. Okay, that's the bar chart. And then we're gonna just minimize that. For example, this is a complete frequency distribution, and we wanna save the data. How can we do it? So 2.6, we're gonna save and read the data. So if we want to save, just click on File and then Save As. And then find a location you want to save your data set and save it there. So if you want to open a saved data, just find the data from your computer. So it's going to be a file with the .sav at the end. So double click on the saved file, then you can see the data set. Double click on that. The SPSS software going to automatically start, and then with the data file there already. That's how you save and read data. And then histogram. Let's talk about histogram. So we're going to use another column to generate a variable with name weight, and we're going to type in this data set there. We have 1 decimal, the line at the center. Go back to data view, and then we can type in 129.2, 142.8, 155.2, 161.0, 165.0, 169.1, 170.1, 175.6, 176.7, 182.0, 188.7, 209.2, 278.8. So we have the data set and at row 13. So we have 13 numbers here. And then check the original data set 3 times 4, 12 plus 1, 13 numbers. No problem. And then based on this data set, we're gonna have a histogram. So then we're gonna go to function analyze, and then we're gonna go to the descriptive statistics, and then we're gonna click on frequencies, and then the variable we want to work on is weight. So move that to the right, and then click on the charts and make sure we select histograms. So show normal curve on histogram. That's the smooth curve on top. So at this point, we don't have to select this one. But when you practice this, you can try with or without this option. Click on continue and click on OK. So then same thing, under the output window, we have this histogram provided. So when we talk about histogram, one important thing is you want to make sure you have the frequency column exactly match with the bar height you have under the histogram. So if we recall from the lecture notes, we used 4 classes, and then the count, the width we have is 40. So obviously for this histogram, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bars, not 4 bars. So we have more than 4 classes. So then we'll need to make some changes in order to get the exact match with the frequency table. So same as before, if you want to make changes on top of a graph, then we double click on that. So double click on the histogram to get into the chart editor. And then we can click on any bar. So we have several bars here, anyone. Double click on that to get into the properties. And what we need is the spinning. So then we have to select custom, and then we calculate the width to be 40. So we run up to let it be 40, and then the starting point is the smallest number, right? 129.2. And then we can click on apply. So that's more like tell the software where we're gonna start and then what's the width, so that the software know how many classes we have. Then 6511, that's the frequencies column that we developed using the example and 4 classes. But another thing to mention here is if we look at the scales that we have, it's not like when we hand wrap the histogram, we have all the cut points, right? 129.2, 169.2, and then 209.2, so on and so forth. So how to change that? So then we click on any values we have on the x-axis. For example, this one, click on that one, and then double click. So then you get into properties, and then want to click on the scale, and then we want to type in the minimum number to be the smallest number we have in the data set, 129.2. And then the maximum, then whatever from the data, we're going to type that in, 289.2. And then the increment is the width, 40. Click on apply, click on close. Then we have the exact same histogram. Compared to hand wrap. So 129.2, 169.2, 209.2, 249.2, and 289.2. Okay, and then exit out. The complete histogram shows in the output window. And then same thing, you can copy and paste this histogram to somewhere else. Okay, that's 2.7. And then all the details, we have the information in the PDF file as well. And 2.8, stem and leaf plot, another important one, right? So we want to use the exam score data to generate the stem and leaf plot. So then let's see, exam score data, double click on that. So we have this data set here. And then if we want to have the stem and leaf plot, we're going to go to the function analyze, descriptive statistics, and then click on explore. And then we want to work on exam, right? Just drag that to the dependent list. And then click on plus to make sure the selection stem and leaf is there. And then click on continue, click on OK. Then you have this stem and leaf plot provided under, again, the output window. Note that the box plot is also provided. And then we can double click on the box plot to get into the chart editor. And then to make some modifications. So this one is vertical. We can also make it horizontal. But we'll talk about box plot in the next video. And there's this is only one way to get the box plot, and there's another function that we can follow. to get the box plot. Okay, that's all for this part 2. Thanks for watching.